during those quiet periods, you had to get a reaction bite from those fish. They were, when they were feeding, and they're feeding on them bluegill, like I said, and the bluegill tucked to the pylons, they wanted me flipping. They wanted it coming on the head. But when they weren't feeding and the tide was up, you had to get them react. And Aaron had the 1-2 punch. He was flipping, then in the quiet periods, he was getting a reaction bite on the spinnerbait. And, you know, I didn't pick, he picked that up way earlier than me. And on the last day, I only caught 2 the day before. So I'm like, I'm going to give the spinnerbait a go, you know, and just mix it up. So I flipped, and I flipped my best stuff for about an hour, nothing. I was like, nothing to lose. And I picked up my spinnerbait. And something that I you know, it's crazy that I didn't think of it, but in Australia we have one, it's called a Bassman spinnerbait. And it's Australian made. We've got them coming over here in the States, but it's real compact, you know. They make them like, you know, we go a lot off Japanese stuff, you know, super subtle, you know, a lot smaller than you normally would. But what I do with all of my spinnerbaits is I glue like a fluke or anything round a swim bait onto the hook. And this isn't one made for it because this is a 1/2 ounce with a tandem, but I fish a 3/8 with a single willow, glue that swim bait on, and I skip it. And there's actually a YouTube video on me how to skip spinnerbaits. If you ever check it out, just put my name in spinnerbait skipping, and I show how to rig it and glue it. So Aaron was like just throwing it around the edges, so I'm thinking, man, I need to get this out and skip it into where he hasn't, you know, where no one's been throwing it. And I got a rod from Miller Rods. It's called a Blade Master. We've made it ideal for spinnerbaits. It's like same thing. We've got the formula right for the hook set, what line you want to spinnerbait with. Well, I pulled the Blade Master out, and it's for nice long casts off windy points, you know, cranking back, grass edges, and a nice parabolic rod. So I pulled that out, and I start skipping it around. And first 5 minutes I'm there, I slow roll this spinnerbait out, and a 5.5 comes out from the shadow right in front of me and eats the spinnerbait. And so I'm just like, oh my God, wind up on it, load up on the fish, everything's good. It opens its mouth up, does 2 head shakes, and the spinnerbait falls out. I got a stinger hook on the back, both Gamakatsu, super sharp. I'm like, what? So I think, you know, fish just get off, whatever. I keep fishing. Going along, next minute, 3.5 swims out, bang, eats it right in front of me. I load up on it, rod bends, got it, does 1 jump, lure comes out. And usually I would just keep fishing and just be like, man, I got so unlucky. There's just nothing unlucky about losing that fish. The rod, that the Blade Master, is made for long casts off long points, doing big sweep hook sets on spinnerbaits, so like big largemouth, smallmouth, getting that hook penetration. In close, the parabolic bend, you know, with fluorocarbon wasn't getting the penetration. It wasn't, the hooks just basically weren't going past the barb. I cut my lure off and I put it on this rod and reel. It's a Cast Freak. We made this rod particularly for all-rounder. It's a nice little short rod, real punchy, a little bit tippy, but a lot more grunt down low. Cut it off, cut the lure off, tied it onto this, 14-pound fluorocarbon gamma, started working around the docks. Hooked a 5.5, a 4, and a 3 over the next couple of hours and landed every single one of them. Couldn't get the hooks out of the fish. So there's those sort of things that I still learn today, you know, like I should have known, but there's just so much to it that those little things to landing fish, that it's not a fluke, it's not bad luck. It's got so much to do with every little thing that you're doing, and getting those formulas right between your whole outfit and your lure and your hook set are going to improve your rate of catch by tenfold.